Alright, so who likes eating at fast food restaurants? Now, who would want to still eat at those same fast food restaurants if the prices of the food were to go up? I've done research that involves researching the effects of raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. And I've found that it can cause problems within the economy. So, steadily raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour has already been passed in 14 different states. And their plan is to do that over the next few years. This trend threatens to spread to the federal level, and it could affect everybody in this room and everyone in the United States. So first I want to talk about why is raising the federal minimum wage such a relevant issue today. Next, I want to take a look at some of the potential risks that raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour could do to our economy. And finally, I want to talk about some other options that we could use to offset poverty and other issues of low income instead of raising the federal minimum wage so drastically. So let's take a look at why raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour is so relevant right now. According to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2014, there were 46.7 million people in the U.S. living in poverty. Poverty has slowly been increasing and has increased by 2.3% since 2007. Median income now in 2014 was $53,657. The poverty line, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, is $24,230 annual income for a family of four. I did the math, and that equals to about an $11.65 an hour minimum wage or hourly wage to make the poverty line for one person in the family to have a job. Although this is a disparity, there's differences there between seeing why we should raise the minimum wage to offset poverty, but raising the minimum wage is not the answer. So let's take a look at some of the negative effects that raising the minimum wage so drastically can have on the economy. There's much debate about the effects of raising the minimum wage can have on the economy in the U.S. John Harvey, an economics professor at TCU, said in his article, "Raising the Minimum Wage is Not the Answer," in July 2014, said that the largest threat is job loss. If companies have to pay more per employee, that doesn't equal higher revenue for that company, which forces the company to make decisions about pay cuts, which forces job loss. David Nurmark, in his article, The Effects of Minimum Wage on Employment in 2015, states that job loss, the standard model of competitive labor markets predicts that a higher minimum wage will lead to job loss among low-skilled workers. Employers will substitute low-skilled labor for other capital such as electronic devices, robots, and other types of input for their labor. Higher wage and new input mix implies higher prices for the goods that you would receive, which also reduces product and labor demand. Who wants to buy stuff when the prices are going up? Inflation steadily increases, but it's inflation. It's going to go up. Prices are going to go up, but not so drastically as they would if we raised the minimum wage. In his 2015 article, Why Market Forces Will Overwhelm a Higher Minimum Wage, David Nurmark argues that the most minimum wage workers are not poor or even in poor families. Nearly a quarter of the minimum wage workers in America were teenagers who would find a better job later in life. Most poor families don't have any workers at all. So raising the minimum wage is not going to help offset poverty or increase income for most families that are living below the poverty line. So how do we address poverty issue what are some better ways to address the poverty issue? There are many schools of thought on how to do this. Nurmark, in his 2015 article, Why Market Forces Will Overwhelm a Higher Minimum Wage, believes that the better option for decreasing the amount of poverty in the U.S. is better use of the Earned Income Tax Credit. The Earned Income Tax Credit research states that it provides generous government subsidies to families in need, and it leads people to work. So it helps subsidize people that are living in poverty, but it also creates job opportunities to lead them to more work, which would enhance the economy. Harvey states that wages are a symptom of larger economic issues. He also points out the Earned Income Tax Credit as a good option to offset poverty, and he also thinks that stimulating the demand for labor is an effective way to raise jobs. Obviously, more jobs increases wages across the country, and more job opportunities creates more jobs, eliminating poverty. So in conclusion, drastically raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is not the answer to offset poverty. It can cause economic instability and job loss, and there are other programs out there such as the Earned Income Tax Credit that could be better options to offsetting poverty. Check out change.org for petitions to protect the Earned Income Tax Credit and to save our economy. Thank you.